What's up, y'all? So after the reception I've gotten on the Scorpion and Noob videos, I thought it'd be a cool idea to see what Sub-Zero would look like in Street Fighter 6. I feel like he's the second contender after Scorpion to be put in Street Fighter. So here y'all go. In MK9, Sub-Zero is kind of lame. His only real cool thing is being able to go like this and take them out of the freeze and have a combo after. That's pretty unique to this game. The other thing I've found that's unique is this, that you can go back to right after a combo that puts them airborne, like so. And then you can get a slide after, which I think is pretty cool. It's a very unique thing to MK9, like I said. And I could totally see them bringing this back. Like a string cancel into this. It could even be like a drive rush cancelable move that you can just put slide right after. So I think this, and you can charge it too, very strong contender for Street Fighter, because you can see it's a freeze too. The only other thing I like that in this game specifically for Street Fighter with Sub is this, like the beam, just as an effect, because I think it distinguishes from regular Ice Ball very well. So I think that addition would be really nice, considering the visual clarity and overall visuals in Street Fighter are so different to MK in general. So yeah, that's about all I got for MK9. It's kind of my least favorite Sub-Zero in the NRS era. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. He's very bare bones, and he feels like he should be cooler than he actually is. Because, you know, Scorpion's really cool in this game, I think. I really like how he plays. But then Sub is just kind of meh. So yeah, that's all for MK9. MKX Sub-Zero is in my top 2 favorite versions of the character, and he's not number 2. And that's solely because of his variations. I think all 3 of these are solid. Granted, everybody kind of knows Unbreakable is the least fun. Cryomancer, Grandmaster, you get very awesome Sub-Zero action. To nobody's surprise, Grandmaster is obviously my favorite, so we're going to start off with what I would lift from here. So I didn't really talk about it in the MK9 segment, but I do think now is a good time to talk about Ice Clone, and just the freeze mechanic in general. So I'm sure if you're watching this, you know how freeze works. You throw out your Ice Ball, they're frozen, and then, you know, you get a little combo after. I dropped it. This Ice Clone allows for crazy stuff in the corner and just combos in general because of that. Now, this is something that would be very tricky in Street Fighter, I think. The entire freeze mechanic would be tricky. Because, you know, how would you be able to make it cool and unique to the character while also not being overpowered? Me personally, the only solution I can really come up with is making it only be part of strings or EX moves. Now, what I mean by that is there could be a string that would be like, or I guess target combo, they'd be like 1, 2, Ice Ball, and then you'd have to go into like kick slide after or something. So a basic combo would be like this, like that, except it would all connect. It doesn't connect in this game, but it would be like that. That would be your like B and B combo or something along those lines. Obviously it'd be more difficult because, you know, you have fireball forward and you'd have to choose light, medium, heavy, but that's the easy way to do it and not make it completely broken and overpowered. However, that being said, it's kind of underwhelming. So I think a really good way to have freeze work is have it be tied to drive gauge. However much drive gauge you're willing to spend on each move would say how, or dictate how long the freeze lasts. So let's go with, again, Ice Ball for example. I just do regular Ice Ball, maybe a second, just allowing for me to be close into a target combo and then go right into something else. You know, nothing crazy, just a small little advantage. However, if I go for a medium version, which I don't know really how to represent in this, but if I go for a medium version, it would be for a little bit longer, which would allow me to get a drive rush into something else. Bam, bam, freeze, drive rush, and then get something after. I just did drive rush inputs. You could have the EX version just be what it is in this game. A combo extension. Full on, like, you can do whatever you want after. can restart your combo, you know, go medium punch, crash medium punch, drive rush into the rest of your combo. That's how I think it could work, and that's how I think Ice Ball should work. So the main thing in this variation, as I mentioned earlier, is the Ice Clone. You get Ice Clone out, then you pound, and then you get 2 projectiles. Now this is mainly utilized in the corner, because you can go like 36%. That's how it should be in Street Fighter, if they decide to put it in. Instead of having Ice Clone be separate, they should have them both be the same thing, where he like clones himself and then does the pound at the same time. Because if you can just have an Ice Clone everywhere, that would be stupid. I think we can all agree on that, and that would be a balance nightmare, unless they do what I was just saying with Ice Ball, where it'd be small freeze for lights, medium freeze for mediums, long freeze for heavies. That's the only way I can see them pulling it off, but it would still be a balance nightmare, because you could have a small window for if they jump to react with clone, and we all know reacting with clone isn't crazy easy, but still, you can just go heavy clone and then they get hit by it. So I think that they should just have them both be the same thing, honestly. I think that's the easier route, and more so than Ice Ball, people wouldn't be as upset at it. At least I wouldn't. I don't want to speak for y'all, but I wouldn't be as upset at it. Alright, y'all. So that was Grandmaster. Now we're on to Cryomancer. So in this game, Cryomancer has some really cool tools like this. The hammer overhead. I think this is obviously like an air move that he has. Just like it'd be like down heavy punch, down medium punch. Then he would come flying down with the hammer. I think it's really cool, and it's not just in this game, it's also in 11, and I think it's also in Injustice 2. So this would just be a cool addition to have as like a mix-up, or a good solid overhead that you can't combo after, but just has damage. Outside of that, I think this character has one other really cool thing, and that's this grab. It's a very good combo ender in the corner, and it also allows you, as you saw there, if you meter burn it, to get a slide after. So it's kind of just a good ender and a good way to finish a combo. I think they should put this in Street Fighter as a command grab, and it should be on punch. So it should be quarter circle punch, but there's only one version. So you could either do light or EX, and just like this game, light will get you the regular grab, and if you care to EX it, you get slide. So that's about all I would take from MKX Sub-Zero, and just so y'all know, I love this version of the character. He's honestly, like I said, top 2 and not number 2. Alright, as I'm sure y'all know by now, I'm not a huge fan of MK11. However, that sentiment doesn't really apply to Sub. I think he has a lot of cool stuff in this game. First of all, the thing I'm sure a lot of you are thinking about when you think of MK Sub-Zero is this. Combo Ice Ball. It's perfect. It is just fun. It's awesome. It's not like some other games where you have to meter burn it to get the full combo like in X. I think personally, this is another way they could go, whereas Ice Ball just combos all the time. Instead of the idea I was talking about in X, you could just have it combo all the time. Personally, that's how I would do it. However, I understand it would come with some balance and damage issues, because you'd have to scale the combo after Ice Ball pretty heavily. There's one other thing I do like, and that is this. I think Rising Tide is really fun, and I think it's a great wake-up option, because I'm pretty sure it has a hit of armor. So I would like to see it return in Street Fighter 6. Outside of that, it's basically my criteria or things I enjoy about MK11 Sub-Zero. Like I said, not a huge fan of this game. I think they may be able to borrow some of the crushing blow stuff to just give them extra damage or something like that. But I don't know, this game was just never really it for me, so I'm not going to take that much from it. Now, kind of like what I was talking about with MK1 Scorpion, Sub and MK1 very much has a bunch of normals. This, crouching light kick. Then the second one, crouching medium kick. It literally looks like one. That second attack literally looks like a crouching medium kick. And this could be axes in Street Fighter 6. Turn the skull into an axe. Perfect. Looks great. I think something else he has that could be fun to see in Street Fighter 6 is this punch thing. It's not an amazing move, but it looks cool and could be used as like an ender of a target combo or something like that. But I don't think it deserves to be a separate move if he already has like a good solid ice ball. Another like normal he has that I think is pretty obvious is this. This is very much like a, obviously it's a, I don't want it to be jury, but it kind of has like a jumping heavy kick sort of thing with it, in my opinion. And then you also have this version of it, so maybe you could add this in a different way and keep the kick as like a heavy or something like that. And like I was saying, he just has so many normals you can rip and so many target combos. Like they could literally have this be a target combo in the game. Speaking of which, I do think this is my favorite slide because it's very straight to the point, bam, and it's just a wake up with armor, which is perfect in my opinion. But I think those are two great additions, and just all of his normals in general I think would be great additions, and they could literally lift from this game, obviously with some modifications because of the art style. But I think his normals should mostly come from this game, in my opinion. So yeah, that's all for MK1. Sub-Zero is also familiar with appearing outside of Mortal Kombat related games. He's appeared in Injustice 2, and that's what you have right on your screen right now. The thing about Injustice Sub is he's basically just an amalgamation of Cryomancer and Grandmaster from MKX. There's not a lot of new stuff. He has like, I think that's very much similar to the MK1 slide now that I'm looking at it again. And he has the swords, he has the air smash with the hammer, then he has clone obviously, and you can like throw it just like MKX. So there's not anything crazy unique about this. I just think it's mainly design. He looks like an ice dude, like an ice superhero in this. Not quite Iceman, but he looks like an icy superhero ninja, and I just think it's cool to see a different take on the character when he's not in Mortal Kombat. So yeah, that's about all I have for Injustice Sub-Zero. I would like to see some similar stuff to this, but it's basically just MKX stuff. Like you can do this in MKX too. Yeah, that's it for Injustice 2. Alright, so after looking at all of those versions of Sub-Zero during the NRS era, I think it's fairly safe to say the character should rely on ice still. It should be different. Like I was saying, there should be a light version, medium version, and heavy version that more based. There should be a light, medium, and heavy version of Ice Ball that's more based on duration, similar with Ice Clone, and he should just have a lot of the same normals. I honestly think that would be pretty fair because he doesn't have any crazy stuff really outside of the Axe Smash in MK11. I know everybody watching this remembers that. So I really think he can just be lifted from a lot of these things and have Drive Rush and a crouching medium kick lead into some sort of slide and things of that nature. Speaking of slide, one thing I did forget to touch on with the MK1 segment is I do think we should have a slide that leads into clone. So I know I said I like that slide, however I'm thinking more an Injustice 2 MKX slide where you can do a clone setup, because I just think that's really fun and allows for some really cool mind games. So yeah, that's about all I got on Sub-Zero. I think it would be a great addition, pretty much similar to Scorpion. I think they'd both be great additions to Street Fighter 6, and they'd open some new doors for MK crossover with different fighting games, and overall it'd just be really fun, it'd be really cool, and I think we all want to see that. So with that being said, it's been Fuller, RIP Fuller. Message is get excited for Sub. Hopefully he's in Street Fighter 6. Alright, y'all have a good one. I'll see you next time.